Hi everyone, this is Ali. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope all is well with you. This video real quick is basically me doing a full disclaimer, or rather full disclosure video. I think about a week ago I did a video that I uploaded onto my channel in regards to basically kind of introducing to you who I am and the things that I do. For example, I basically let you know that I was an educator, as well as a community organizer, activist, speaker. I own my own business. My business actually focuses on dismantling racism through one conversation at a time on a consistent basis through candid sessions. I call them candid conversation sessions. And of course, I go into wherever I am needed or wherever anybody actually needs me, which could actually be, in the school system, in regards to working with teachers, in nonprofits, working with nonprofit groups, in business places, wherever I'm out in the community, having public forums, wherever I'm needed. That is what I do. Now, with that being said, yes, my goal is to work towards reconciliation. But in the same token, I am a human being. I am also one of those individuals who is a part of the community in which racism actually affects them directly. And so thus my purpose is at the same time to actually work towards the freedom, liberation, and sovereignty of my community as well as my relations community. And so I wanted to basically let all those who come on here and who request my services for them to actually know this, because for some odd reason, and I don't know when it happened, I think realistically it was way before I was born, that there is this assumption that if you're going to work towards reconciliation, then especially if you are a melanated person, then that means that you cannot. There's a certain way in which you're supposed to act. There's, I guess, this unspoken framework in which you're supposed to follow. And sometimes that may mean that whatever it is that you're doing, like protesting, marching, rallying, being a speaker and speaking up, using your voice in order to advocate for your people, that for some, that if it appears like it is aggressive, then you're basically against reconciliation. And that's not true. Yes, you can see me in the business room, facilitating and mediating conversations. You can see me on in the public, working with the community in regards to having raw and honest dialogue on race, as we navigate through this very complex and multifaceted entity. But in the same token, you can also understand that you may see me marching for my people, or marching and supporting other marginalized groups, as well as speaking and advocating for them on their behalf. And whether it be through public speaking, it is done through marches, it is done through rallies, or some other form of protest, even boycotting, because I do that too, in order to basically show that these are this entity is hurting my community or other melanated people's communities. And so in order for me to be able to voice to use the personal power that I have as an individual in order to support these communities, I may do that. And so I want you all to recognize that for me, those things go hand in hand. I'm doing them simultaneously. I don't believe in being fit into a box, or basically being put into a box and forced to stay in it. Because I've recognized, especially with racism, that there's no way that you can do that if you're trying to dismantle something that has been in place for over 400 to 500 years. And so thus, I recognize that I have the ability and I have the responsibility as an individual who is a representation of the human race to do all that I can in order to bring us back to the place as humans that we're supposed to be, in regards to how we treat each other, how we respect one another, how we view one another, and how we work towards helping each other. And that goes in regards to the type of actions that we take also. And so I wanted to kind of give you all, just give you that full disclaimer that yes, just because I'm advocating for my people and other disenfranchised groups, that does not mean that I'm still not working towards reconciliation, and I'm still not reaching across the aisle to our white counterparts who do want to be our allies, and then those who don't want to be our allies. And I'm not reaching out to them in order for us to work our way through this so that we can have a meeting of the minds, and a meeting of what it means to have a certain type of respect for one another and what that looks like. Because I recognize that through reconciliation, there comes healing. And healing is powerful. It's rejuvenating. It's energizing. It's something that brings about love in its purest form. And so I will continue to work towards this. Hey, okay, and very quickly, if you notice, you saw me pause this. Let me tell you why. And you're really not going to see me do a lot of that when I am actually having my candid conversations on here with you all. Another, not disclaimer, because this is not a disclaimer, this is just full disclosure. I am not one in regards to, I'm not an individual who tries to perfect everything. I'm just not. I've recognized that as humans, that is something that we, for some reason, have felt that perfection is the goal, or that's something that we should be always trying to attain. I'm not saying perfection is not something that should, of course, be a part of the things that we do when we're trying to reach specific goals, or we're trying to look a specific way or appear a specific way. I'm not saying that. But I also recognize that as humans, we are flawed, and that we're always making mistakes. We're always going to be doubling back. We're always going to be apologizing for certain things. And as well as when we do specific things, it's not always going to look up 100% A-okay, if you want to put it that way. And so I want to let you know that you're going to see me make a lot of mistakes. I'm going to keep moving it on. You're going to hear me say, excuse me, I'm going to keep it moving. You're going to hear a lot of noise in the background because, of course, it's wintertime, so you're not going to see me out like I would normally be doing these, having my candid conversations, because I prefer to actually have them outside. You're going to have, for a little while, they're going to be on the inside, and when they're on the inside, because, hey, I am a working mother, you're going to be hearing my little munchkins running around, and you're going to hear some banging, you're going to hear some Disney Channel or whatever rolling in the background, and I'm going to keep it rolling because I am not here for looks. I am not here to have a specific appearance. I am here as a conveyor of a message and to have a conversation. And so I do not get caught up on perfection of my videos. You're not going to see me get all bent out of shape over the quality of my videos. I know and I recognize that I just need you to be able to see me, for it to be clear, and for you, most of all, to be able to hear and understand the message that I'm trying to get to you and why it matters. Because the message that I am bringing here to this platform and to the forefront, which all other people are doing too, it does pertain to you. If you're watching this video, my message is affecting you. And realistically speaking, it is affecting other people who aren't watching this. But for whatever reason, they're not going to watch it. And there's nothing I can do about that. I have, at this point in time, recognized that I have to be okay with that. I have to work with individuals who want to bridge the gap, who want to reconcile, with what's going on with us as humans in regards to how we view and how we treat and how we implement racism. Because some of us are, we are the perpetrators when it comes to racism. Others, we are not, because we do not have the ability to be racist, because there's certain specific things or qualities or characteristics that you have to have in order to be someone who is racist. And so there are portions of society who just cannot be racist. And I will have another video on that probably way on down the line. Maybe not too far, but I will do a video on that. And so with that being said, I just wanted to have a full disclaimer, a full disclosure of who I am, what I'm about, what you're going to see, what you're going to hear. I am human. I will, yes, there's this part of me that is all about peace, 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 peace. But there's this other part of me that recognizes that it is still my responsibility as a person coming from my subculture, my community, that has to advocate for them, because they are in a position of, whereas they are individuals of victimization, whether it be by specific individuals, institutions, or the government itself, from just because of policies that have been implemented that hurt them and their communities. And so I'm a very multifaceted person, just like each and every one of you out there. Also, I am not perfect. You're going to hear me mess up, like I said. You're going to hear banging and binging and music, look, kid music running around, toys and everything, and I'm going to keep the video going. Not unless it becomes such a distraction for all of us, then yes, I'll push pause on my video. I will stop and I will come back. The reason why I'm doing that is because I am a working mother, and thus if I'm a working mother and her workplace is her environment, I would be literally recording videos over and over and over and over again, and I don't have that type of time, and you all don't have that type of time, whether or not you realize it or not. And so now, with that being said, I am going to get out of here, and I look forward to having this conversation with you, and for us to continue working towards one another on how we dismantle this very, very powerful entity that has been in existence for 400 to 500 years, and it's called racism. All right, y'all. Check y'all out later. I'll see you later. Bye-bye. This is Allie.